If Santa is supposed to be based on St. Nicholas, why does he look like that?
The Civil War.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Civil War and an old poem. And also kind of because of Coca-Cola.
Okay, I know about the Coke part, we did a whole video on that. But how did we get from St. Nicholas, a Greek bishop, to a big old bearded guy in a red suit? That's not what he looked like. Are people just dumb, or did something happen there?
I kind of already told you the answer, but sure, I can make a whole art history lesson out of this.
I don't think I asked for that.
To find that out, we have to go all the way back to the early 1800s.
Guess we're doing another round of time travel. I think this is the furthest back we've ever gone.
It all started when Dutch immigrants moved to the US. And of course, they brought their traditions with them, including their love of St. Nicholas. To them, he was known as Sinterklaas, a nickname for the Dutch way to say St. Nicholas, which later turned into Santa Claus. In 1804, John Pintard, a member of New York Historical Society, distributed wood-cut engravings of St. Nicholas with toys and fruit hung over fireplaces. In John Pintard's stories, St. Nicholas was described as wearing bishop attire.
Well, duh, he was a bishop, so he wore bishop clothes. So far makes sense.
In 1809, Washington Irving helped to popularize Sinterklaas stories as the patron saint of New York in his book, The History of New York. In these stories, Sinterklaas was described as a rascal with blue three-cornered hat, a red waistcoat, and yellow stockings. He was also described as a man wearing a broad-brimmed hat and a huge pair of Flemish trunk hose, and had a pipe.
Okay, that's already really different from St. Nicholas, but also not any kind of mall Santa I've ever seen.
Yeah, so back then, there really wasn't any clear idea of what this character looked like yet. In fact, it was rare to see him looking the same in different art or writing descriptions of him. He'd be like the god Odin in one, or a thin old man wearing green in another. That is until 1822, when Clement Clarke Moore wrote a long Christmas poem for his three daughters, called An Account of a Visit from St. Nicholas. Or as you and I might better recognize it, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This poem contained the most detailed description of St. Nicholas as a character yet, and it was a very well known and loved at the time poem. It's these parts right here.
Okay, I'll read it. He was dressed in all fur from head to foot, and all of his clothes were tarnished with ashes of soot. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. He had a broad face and a little round belly. He shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump and a right jolly old elf. Wait, so it was calling him an elf? I thought he has elves.
Yeah, Santa actually got called an old elf-like character a lot, in like a sprightly fairy tale kind of way. Not like in a small shoemaker kind of way. Funny enough, Moore at first didn't want to publish 'Twas the Night Before Christmas at all, since it was made for his child daughters and he thought it was much too silly to get published. But it's a good thing he did. The poem is beloved and is the most influential in what shaped how Santa is today. But up until then, there still hadn't been a specific look to how Santa was in the poem. Not in art, at least. We wouldn't have a defining piece of art for Santa until the late 1800s. And, as an artist who loves character design, this to me is a big deal.
Yes, go on. Tell us yet again how you have an illustration degree. It's fascinating every time.
On January 3rd, 1863, the illustrated magazine Harper's Weekly had two political cartoons that really cemented our love as a nation for this Santa guy we all know and love.
Yeah, that Santa guy. He's a good people. I heard about him in an old 1800s magazine.
The first drawing shows Santa giving out gifts in a Union Army camp, wearing a jacket with stars and his pants with stripes, so you know which side he's on. Essentially walking around in American flag attire. And in the second illustration, Santa is at his sleigh, another half going down the chimney, along with two people on each side of the illustration. On one half, a woman is praying on her knees. On the other, a soldier is leaning against a tree. In these political cartoons, Santa was characterized as like a patron saint in the war against slavery. I don't know about you, but that is a sentence I never thought I'd say. But it's really cool to think that Santa is like a gift-giving helper to the cause for the fight for freedom back during the Civil War.
You're kidding. They made Santa political in a non-religious way?
Actually, in a way, it makes sense. The artist responsible for both of these drawings is Thomas Nast. He's the same guy who created the Democrat donkey and the Republican elephant. So, political cartoon Santa was born. Nast had actually taken inspiration for the look of his Santa Claus directly from 'Twas the Night Before Christmas as his main inspiration, while also taking some inspiration from himself, his wife, and his kids for different cartoons he'd make of Santa. By the end, he'd made 33 Santa illustrations in total, up until the year 1886. And in just about all of them, he'd make Santa a pro-abolitionist icon and promoting civil rights, even after the war had ended. Many of these political cartoons from Nast now live in the Muckawak Hall Historical Museum, in Nast's hometown of Morristown, New Jersey.
Morristown, I do declare, that reminds me of another video we made about a little guy who's also from the 1800s named Morris.
The most famous Santa artwork Thomas Nast made was probably the one from 1881, known as Merry Old Santa Claus. At first glance, this looks like any other artwork of Santa we might know today, wearing a red suit, holding a bag of toys over his shoulder.
Yep, looks the same as any other Santa to me.
Actually, this is also a propaganda piece.
What? How?
This one is about the government being indecisive about paying higher wages to members of the military. The bag of toys over his shoulder isn't actually full of toys, but is a military backpack for enlisted men. He's also holding a sword and a belt buckle meant to represent the army. There's even a toy horse meant to be a callback to the Trojan horse to symbolize treachery of the government. And he's got a pocket watch that reads 10 o'clock, indicating only a couple hours until midnight. So the Senate has very little time to make a decision to raise wages for men in the Army and the Navy. Nast was very clearly pro-military, and he wanted to do his part to make sure they were paid fairly for their work.
I never thought of Santa as a military guy before.
Nast was a very prolific political cartoonist, going up against corrupt New York politicians, but also played a very heavy hand in how we see Christmas now, based on his artwork. In fact, he was the one that made Santa wear red for the first time, and it stayed an integral part of his character after him. He also is the reason why Santa lives in the North Pole, where he has a workshop for building his toys, and a large book with the names of children who are naughty and nice. These were his inventions, but not a lot of people have any idea about Thomas Nast. He is the true father of our beloved Santa Claus character. In a way, he's the father of our Father Christmas. And that's pretty neat.
The father of Father Christmas. Grandpappy Christmas.
By this time, the image of Santa is pretty clear, but one last person plays a part in the puzzle that is Santa Claus. And I actually talked about him before in another video I made, in the Coca-Cola Christmas.
Ooh, came full circle.
And his name is Hudden Sunbloom. Coca-Cola had commissioned him to make a painting of Santa Claus with a bottle of Coca-Cola in 1931, in which he referenced 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and Thomas Nast's artworks of Santa. He painted the figure with the iconic red suit we already knew by then. But now, the character went from being a Civil War political cartoon to being a warm, jolly figure. Similar to Nast, Hudden Sunbloom went on to make several other Santa artworks, all the way up until 1964. And these Coca-Cola Santas are iconic, and still used today, not only by Coca-Cola products, but as probably the most definitive iconography of Santa we know now. And it's been nearly 100 years since the first Hudden Sunbloom painting, and they all feel just as modern now.
And if you saw our Coca-Cola video, you'd know a lot about Hudden Sunbloom, and also how Charlie Brown Christmas is related to Coke.
So that's how St. Nicholas, the bishop, slowly became jolly North Pole residing, rosy-cheeked man we know today. Yet another example of how poets and artists helped shape the way we see the world, and even helped the Civil War along the way.
Oh, really? That's the lesson here? That poets and artists are super puppet masters?
More like a skilled craftsman who shapes our perception. Media changes minds, right down to the adorable long poems made for children and war propaganda mascots that now tell us what kind of soda to buy.
I still say it's weird that a Greek bishop turned into this guy.
I know, right? How cool was that? Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys this time. So happy holidays to all of you who celebrate them, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.